License and registration. The policewoman snapped, her voice sharp enough to cut through the late afternoon traffic noise. Marcus' hands shook slightly as he fumbled through his wallet. He hated being stopped, hated the suspicion in her eyes, hated the way people assumed things about him because of his skin. "Is there a problem, officer?" Marcus asked, trying to keep his voice calm. She didn't answer at first. She just leaned against a patrol car, folding her arms, and stared at him like he had already done something wrong. The tension in the air was thick enough to taste. Marcus swallowed hard. His heart raced. This was not his first stop by a police officer, and deep down, he knew how quickly things could go wrong. He had seen it on the news too many times. Men like him, good men, turning into tragic headlines because someone assumed the worst. "Sir, your registration is expired. I'm going to have to issue a fine," she said finally, flipping through her ticket book. Marcus felt a familiar wave of frustration. I just got the renewal notice. I didn't realize." "No excuses," she interrupted. Her tone was professional, but there was something else in her voice, a teasing lilt, a tension that didn't belong in the usual traffic stop. "You need to pay attention to these things." Marcus hesitated. Something about her smile, or maybe the way her eyes lingered a little too long, made him confused. He didn't know whether to feel annoyed or something else. "Look, he started again, but she held up a hand. "Marcus," she said suddenly. The use of his first name stopped him cold. "That's your name, right? Marcus Johnson?" He froze. How did she know his name? Was this normal? Had he forgotten some paperwork somewhere? "Yes, that's me," he said cautiously. She jotted something down in her book, then looked up at him in a way that made him uncomfortable and uneasy. "You know," she said, her voice softer now, almost conspiratorial. "If you weren't married," she paused, letting the word hang in the air. "I'd give you my number." Marcus blinked. His jaw tightened. He wasn't sure if this was flirtation or a trap. Married? She didn't know anything about his personal life. I'm married," he stammered. He felt his face heat up. Her smile was quick, sharp, and teasing. "Good for you," she said lightly. Then she straightened, snapping back into the professional role. "Still, the fine stands. You need to take care of it." Marcus nodded, still dazed. He got the feeling that the fine wasn't just about the expired registration. It was personal. Or maybe it wasn't. Maybe he was reading too much into it. As he reached for the paperwork, he noticed something strange. Her badge, her name tag. It didn't match what he had seen in the police database before. Something felt off. "Officer, are you really with the city police?" he asked, his voice quiet, suspicious. She froze for a heartbeat, her smile faltering just a fraction. Then she chuckled lightly, as if dismissing the question. "Don't worry about it, Marcus. Just pay the fine, okay?" Marcus wanted to ask more. He wanted to understand why she had singled him out, why she had leaned so close, why she had said those words. But he didn't. He drove off, heart pounding, mind racing, the city lights blurring past him. That night he couldn't sleep. Her words echoed in his head. Something about them didn't feel innocent. Something about the way she had known his name, known he was married, made him uneasy. And then there was a nagging feeling. What if this wasn't just a routine traffic stop? Because somewhere, deep down, Marcus realized he'd been caught in something far bigger than an expired registration. Something that would change everything. Marcus couldn't shake the strange feeling that followed him home. The city lights flashed by his windshield, but his mind was somewhere else, replaying every word the policewoman had said. "If you weren't married, I'd give you my number." Who says that during a traffic stop? And how did she know his name? By the time he reached his small apartment, his nerves were raw. His wife, Elena, was waiting at the door, holding their 4-year-old son in her arms. "You're late again," she said softly, worry lacing her voice. "Everything okay?" Marcus forced a smile. "Yeah, just some cop stopped me. Expired registration." Elena frowned. "Another one? They stop you every other week. You didn't do anything wrong again, did you?" Marcus shook his head. "No, but this time it felt different." She studied him for a moment, then handed him their son. "Forget about it for now. Dinner's on the table." But Marcus couldn't forget. That night, after everyone had gone to bed, he sat by the kitchen table with his laptop open. The light from the screen flickered against his tired face. He typed in the name from the badge, Officer L. Harper. The search results didn't make sense. There was a Harper on the force, but not the one he'd met. The woman in the photo online had a completely different face. Marcus felt his stomach twist. "So who is she?" he whispered. The next morning, he couldn't let it go. He drove to the police department, clutching the fine in his hand. When he showed the ticket to the duty sergeant, the man frowned. "This isn't one of our tickets," the sergeant said. "Look, wrong logo, wrong format. Where did you get this?" Marcus's chest tightened. "From an officer yesterday. Said her name was Harper." The sergeant leaned back, confused. "There's no Harper on traffic duty, and no one with that badge number." For a second, the room spun. Marcus felt cold all over. "Are you saying she wasn't a cop?" The sergeant's voice lowered. "Whoever she wasn't from here." Marcus stumbled out of the building, his mind racing. Why would someone impersonate a police officer just to stop him? Then his phone buzzed. Unknown number. He hesitated before answering. "Marcus Johnson." The voice said, her voice, calm and clear, "I told you to pay the fine." Marcus froze. "Who are you?" She laughed softly. "Just someone doing her job." "What job?" he demanded. "You're not a cop. You lied." The line went silent for a second. Then she spoke again, her tone colder. "You're smarter than you look. Be careful what you dig into. Some things are better left alone." The call ended. Marcus sat there, stunned, staring at his phone. His hands trembled. Something about that voice. It carried authority, power, and danger. By evening, Marcus's paranoia had turned to determination. He wasn't just going to sit around waiting for whatever this was. He needed answers. He called his friend Devin, an ex-police tech specialist. "Bro, I need a favor. I think someone's pretending to be a cop. She pulled me over, knew my name, everything." Devin whistled. "Man, that's serious. Text me her license plate, or anything you remember." Marcus recalled part of it, 92KX7, and sent it. Devin called back an hour later, voice low and tense. "Marcus, whatever you're in, get out. That plate doesn't belong to any police vehicle. It's registered to a private security company. High-level government contract." Marcus's heart pounded. "What kind of company?" "Classified," Devin said. "They work on undercover operations. Deep stuff. Military connections." "Dude, why would they come after you?" Marcus didn't know. But deep down, he felt a strange certainty. This woman knew him from somewhere. He just didn't know where. That night, as he looked through his old photos on his phone, trying to piece things together, he stopped on one image, a charity event years ago. And there she was, the same woman, in civilian clothes, standing in the background, smiling, watching. Marcus stared at the photo on his phone, his breath coming short and fast. It was from 5 years ago, the night he received a community award for saving 2 kids from a burning apartment building. Reporters, flashing cameras, applause, and in the corner of that same photo stood her, the same woman who stopped him yesterday, the same woman who claimed to be a police officer. His fingers shook as he zoomed in. She wasn't in uniform back then. Just a plain black dress, a half smile, and eyes that seemed to study him from the crowd, like she was memorizing his face. "Who are you?" he whispered under his breath. By morning, Marcus couldn't take it anymore. He dropped his son off at school, kissed Elena goodbye, and drove straight to the address Devin had found, the headquarters of the private security company that owned the car plate, a tall metal gate, armed guards, and a sign that said Cypher Protective Services, authorized personnel only. Marcus parked across the street and waited. Hours passed. Just when he thought about leaving, a sleek black SUV pulled up, and from it, she stepped out, the same woman. Short brown hair, sharp eyes, that same confident walk. Marcus's pulse raced. Without thinking, he got out of his car and crossed the street. "Hey," he called out. She turned, instantly recognizing him. A flicker of surprise crossed her face before she masked it with a professional smile. "Mr. Johnson, you shouldn't be here." "You've been following me," Marcus said, his voice trembling with anger. "You pretended to be a cop. You gave me a fake ticket. What do you want from me?" Her eyes softened for a moment, just a flicker of regret. Then she motioned toward the sidewalk. "You need to leave. You're not supposed to know any of this." "I'm not leaving until you tell me the truth," Marcus insisted. "You knew me before. I saw you in a photo from 5 years ago." Her face went pale. "You looked at the photos?" "Yes." "Who are you?" For a moment, the strong, confident woman faltered. Her voice dropped. "My name isn't Harper. It's Leah. Leah Carson. I used to work for the Bureau. 5 years ago, you saved my sister." Marcus blinked, confused. "Your sister?" Leah nodded slowly. "Her name was Maya Carson, the woman trapped in that apartment fire. You carried her out when the building was collapsing." Marcus's eyes widened. He remembered that night, the fire, the screams, the heat. He had never seen the woman again after she recovered. "She told me about you," Leah said softly. "Said you didn't wait for help, that you ran back in when everyone else ran away. She called you her guardian angel." Marcus's throat tightened. "Then why pretend to be a cop and stop me?" Leah looked away, guilt flickering in her eyes. "Because you're in danger, Marcus. I tried to warn you, but I couldn't just show up at your house. My agency is being watched. Someone's after you. The same people who tried to kill Maya 5 years ago." Marcus took a step back. "Kill her? I thought it was an accident." Leah shook her head slowly. "It wasn't. That fire was a cover-up. Maya found something, data that exposed a high-ranking official's corruption. She hid the file somewhere, and now they think you know where." Marcus felt his stomach drop. "Me? I don't know anything." "They think otherwise," Leah said. "That's why I approached you. That's why I had to fake a traffic stop, to talk to you without alerting them." Marcus ran a hand over his face, trying to process it all. "So, that fine wasn't real. You were protecting me?" Leah's eyes softened, trying to. A long, tense silence filled the air between them. Finally, Marcus asked quietly, "Where's your sister now?" Leah's expression darkened. "She disappeared 2 years ago. No trace. No body." Marcus's chest ached. He could see the pain in Leah's eyes, the same grief he once carried after losing his brother in a car crash. "I think," she whispered, "they're going to finish what they started. And Marcus, they're watching you right now." Marcus turned sharply, scanning the street, and that's when he noticed it. A black sedan parked down the block. Tinted windows. Engine running. Leah's eyes went wide. "Get down!" she shouted. And before Marcus could react, a loud crack split the air. A bullet shattered the car window beside them. Marcus dove for cover, heart pounding, glass raining down, as chaos exploded around him.